Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of the 1986 World Series replay based on the NBC Game of the Week all season long and the Stratomatic computer simming everything. We got to the ALCS between the Yankees and Angels, where the Angels won in 6 games, and we got to the NLCS with the Astros and the Mets, where the Astros swept the Mets 4-zip. Game 1 went to the Astros by the final score of 5-2. And now Game 2 is set to get underway from the Astrodome. Starting pitchers for today's game, Mike Scott for the Astros and Kirk McCaskill for the Angels. McCaskill, a good year in 86, 17-10, 3.36 ERA, so definitely no slouch there. Mike Scott, almost a Cy Young-like type year, 18-10 with a 2.22 ERA and an impressive 306 strikeouts. Almost as impressive 275 innings pitched. Of course, those days are long gone. All right, let's look at our starting lineups now with the Astros having a right-handed pitcher. They had Shays in Game 1, a lefty, so with a righty in there, Reggie Jackson's in right field, and they benched the red-hot George Hendrick. Kind of a little bit of a quandary there. I mean, how do you play it? You got to put Reggie in there against righties. So Hendrick, not as good against righties as he is against lefties. You could have benched Downey maybe, but it was a tough choice. I mean, of course, if there was a DH, it'd be perfect, but have both of them in there, but that's not the case. National League, well, actually, 1986 World Series rules say no DH, and that's in either park. So we are ready to go for game number 2. Gary Pettis will lead things off against Mike Scott. Wouldn't say it's a must-win for the Angels, but boy, hate to go back down 2-0. Even though the next 3 are at home, you still like to be able to get that split and reclaim that home field advantage on your side. So here we go, Mike Scott, 2-5, and against a switch hitter batting left, that's a potential walk. That's a 14. He walks at a 14, but the stadium takes away 1 and makes him a 13. So no walk. So the Astrodome took that walk away from Gary Pettis. But Pettis will swing 3-5, and he's going to single to right field. So he says, all right, I won't walk, but I will hit a single to right field. So Gary Pettis is aboard. Leadoff single, and you know he's looking to run if he can. His attempt is a 7, but Scott's a +4, so his attempt now becomes an 11. And it's a 9, so he will get the jump. He is a 16. Scott's a +1, makes it a 17. Catcher arm, Alan Ashby, is also +1 to make it an 18. So 1-18, Pettis will steal second base. And he does. So stolen base for Gary Pettis. He is doing exactly what a leadoff hitter is supposed to do, which is, let's see where I'm going to put the stat. I don't know where to put the Astrodome. I'll put it down here until we need it, I guess. Maybe I'll put it over here temporarily. Not quite sure where to put it. I'll put it right there maybe. All right, so Pettis is on second base, single and a steal. Angels feeling pretty good in the first inning, but it's a long way to go, obviously. Here's Wally Joyner, strategy roll for Mike Scott. That's a 20, so there's a chance of a pickoff of 1-3. A 4 is a pickoff error. That's a 13, so Pettis gets back. Scott to Joyner. 4-6 against a righty, that'd be a strikeout plus, but against a lefty, it is a blank. So go to Joyner. 3-3, he's going to ground to second. That will move Pettis to third. So small ball going on for the Angels right now. I'm sure Joyner wanted to hit, but it worked out to get the runner to third. That was his main objective, was to get the runner to third base. Here is Downing. Strategy rolled again. Nothing happening. Scott to Downing. Infield is back. They'll give up the run to get an out and preserve a big inning. 6-6. That's a range play. But again, the infield is back, so they're at their normal range. Here's Downing. 5-6 against a right-hander. That is a fly to right field, so we're checking the range of Kevin Bass. And Kevin Bass in right field, as good as you can get, he is a 5. So 1-5, he makes the catch. He doesn't. It's a 6. Is it a single or a double? It's a single, so it's a base hit for Brian Downing as Bass just unable to get there. It's an RBI single for Downing, and the Angels jump on top of Mike Scott early, 1-0 here in the first. And that brings up Reggie Jackson, otherwise known as Reginald Martinez Jackson. Downing's a 1, but the +4 from Scott makes him a 5 for his attempt. That is a 1, so if he wants to try to steal, he could. He's a 10. +1 from Scott makes an 11. +1 from Ashby is a 12. They're going to put the pedal to the metal. They're going to send him 1-12. And he's thrown out. It's 19. It's a little bit. The one's kind of faded away there, but it is a 19. I assure you, it is a 19 because the 9 is over here. So it is a 19. I probably need to get a different blue D20 going forward. When we get to California, I'll probably use a red D20. All right, so caught stealing. Brian Downing is out as Reynolds puts on the tag. 2-6 goes the out for out number 2. And now Reggie Jackson will bat with the bases empty. And we can put our stadium back over here. All right, 5-2, and that's a possible hit by pitch. He's a 4, -6 though, so that takes that away. And Reggie will swing. 1-4, and against a right-hander, that's a grounder to first. Glenn Davis puts it away, innings over. California, just like in Game 1 of the World Series, they start out with a 1-0 lead, but they couldn't hold it. Houston got a run back in the bottom half and was downhill from there for California. Kurt McCaskill trying to change that, however. And it will be Billy Hatcher. Had the big 2-run home run in Game 1 to get the Astros the lead they never relinquished. Here's McCaskill, 5-5, strikeout chance 14 is too much. Go to Hatcher. 2-2, star 1 is a grounder to second. Bobby Grich is all over it, 1 down. Good start to keep Hatcher off the bases if you were California. Here's Bill Doran. Caskill to Doran. 2-6 is a blank. We go to Doran. 3-6, and that's a star 6, which is a fly to right, put away out there by Reggie. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down very quickly for Denny Walling. So Walling trying to get something cooking here with 2 outs. Caskill, 6-2, strikeout chance 12 is too high. Go to Walling. 6-1, fly to left. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Kurt McCaskill. He puts the hammer down on the Astros, maybe trying to set the tone for this game too. Telling the Astros they better, not going to be easy this time. So Mike Scott back out. And leading things off will be Doug DeSensei, third baseman. Scott, 3-2, and he's not tired, so there's no single there. Treated as a blank, go to DeSensei, 2-5, is a fly to center, 1 away. So we're hoping for a good pitcher's duel here, at least I am. We'll see. Bobby Grich, 2-3, strikeout chance, 3, got him. So Grich down on strikes. 2 up and 2 down for Bob Boone. Scott, 4-5, strikeout chance, 5. We'll get him. He's a 4 plus the 1 from the stadium makes it a 5. So Bob Boone, because of the Astrodome, will strike out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Scott here in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. And it's still 1-0 Angels. And that'll bring up Glenn Davis, first baseman, cleanup hitter. McCaskill, 5-2. That's a walk chance. That is a 9. He walks at a 13 plus -1 makes him a 12, but that still fits. So Glenn Davis with a leadoff walk. Sometimes leadoff walks can come back to get you. Let's see here. His attempt is a 1, but it's a -1 from McCaskill, so no jump allowed. Although there is a chance for balks and pickoffs. If we get a 20, we do not. So skip that and move right on to Kevin Bass. Infield double play depth. 2-1. Potential wild pitch. That's a 7. It will be a wild pitch. His wild pitch rating is 1-8. So the 7 fits. So Glenn Davis will motor on to second base courtesy of the wild pitch. And now Kevin Bass, it's his job to at least make sure Glenn Davis gets to third base. Strategy roll again for a pickoff. Nothing happening. McCaskill, 6-2. Strikeout chance, 18, too much. Kevin Bass, 6-4. He's got a single pass first base. Let's see if Davis can score. On an S3, to score from second base, you need a 4 or better. He's only a 2, so he will stop at third. But how about that? The Astros have runners on the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the second as they look to not only tie the game but take the lead. For Jose Cruz, Angels will play back for a double play. They need outs. They will give up the run to get 2 outs if possible. Bass's attempt is a 4, -1 for a 3. 20, so a chance of a pickoff or an error or a balk. That's an 18, nothing happening. So McCaskill to Cruz, 4-2. And against a lefty, that is a straight-up home run chance. Cruz is a 13, but that's a 19. So no home run for Cruz. And that's a 2-2 on Cruz's card. He's going to ground to second. Potential double play because they were playing back for the double play. He's a 2. They're halfway, makes it a 3. The pivot at short, Dick Schofield, is a +1. So that makes it a 4. So 1-4, we got a double play. We do. So it's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. The run will score for Glenn Davis, but now there are 2 outs. We are tied at a run apiece. No RBI given on that double play. And Cruz kind of kills the rally with that double play. I mean, the silver lining for the Astros is they do tie the game, but I'm sure they were looking for more. So Ashby now the batter with 2 outs and the base is clear. In fact, I think I'll just put the Astrodome right here by the pitcher. Probably works better than anything else. Leave it alone right there, probably. Be good to go. All right. McCaskill, 2-6, blank. If you wonder why I'm sniffling, I worked in the yard a little bit yesterday, and sometimes it's grass and leaf allergy. Gives me a little bit of a stuffiness. So it's not horrible, but it's noticeable. So here's Ashby, 5-2, *1, ground ball to second, innings over. So the Astros are done here in the second, but they do tie the score. At the end of 2, we're tied at 1 apiece here at the Dome. Mike Scott back out, and he will be facing Schofield, McCaskill, who hits for himself, and then Pettis. So here's Schofield. He will lead things off, top of the third, against Mike Scott. 1-1 is a possible error on a ground ball. So to Schofield, 5-4 is a ground ball to second base. Possible error, that's an 8. Bill Doran's error rating is only a 6, so no error on the play. Schofield does make the play, 1 down. I'm sorry, Doran makes the play on Schofield, 1 down. That brings up Kurt McCaskill, and since they did not make pitch rating cards in 1986 because of the DH, I went back to the California 1969 season and pulled their pitch rating card, and we're using that for McCaskill. Scott, 6-6, range play. So to go to McCaskill's card for a range check. 4-6 is a *5, which is a ground ball to short, checking the range of Craig Reynolds. And Craig Reynolds has a range of 3. So 1, 2, or 3, Craig Reynolds makes the play, 4, 5, or 6, and McCaskill gets an infield hit. How about that? McCaskill gets an infield hit. Of all the things, McCaskill gets an infield hit. How do you like that? Of course, no chance to steal or anything, but there is a pickoff chance for Mike Scott if we roll a 20. We do not, so nothing going on. Gary Pettis back up. He singled, stole second, and scored his first trip. 6-5 is a potential walk, and he will walk, and that will move McCaskill to second, Pettis to first. Angels looking to reclaim the lead. Pettis can't run with the pitcher in front of him, though. Does set up Wally Joyner with 2 on and 1 out. Nothing on the Havoc. Scott, 4-3. That is another potential walk. 3 will walk him, and that will load the bases. So back-to-back walks. A field range play single and back-to-back walks. And the Angels have him loaded for Brian Downing. Downing, a pretty good double play candidate, so they're going to play for the double play with 1 out, try to get it out of the inning With him being a 3, if it gets hit to the middle infield, anybody other than first, it would be a 4 guaranteed. And then, your odds are pretty good at that point. Strategy roll again for a pickoff, but nothing's happening. Scott to Downing. 5-2 is a hit by pitch chance, but that's a 19. He's a 20, but the -6 from Scott takes that away. So Downing obviously got hit by pitches a lot if he's a 20, but he will swing. 6-6 is a liner to short, and this could be a line drive double play. Very possible. Very possible line drive double play. That is out number 2. We go to our line drive chart for a double play. And if it's hit to shortstop, we got a 1, the run on first gets doubled off. A 2 or a 3, the run on second gets doubled off. 4 through 6, no double play. So if we get a 1 through 3, it's a double play. It's a 5, so everybody got back. How about that? Boy, talk about disciplined base running right there to get back and not get doubled off. Nice base running by Joyner and Pettis. So bases are still loaded now with 2 outs. Infield back to normal depth for Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. Strategy roll, nothing happening. Jackson with a chance to give the Angels the lead. 1-3 is a blank to a lefty. Would have been a strikeout plus against a righty. That's why he's in there and not Hendrick. And here's Jackson. 5-3. It's a star 1. He's going to ground to second door and throws to first. And the Angels leave them loaded. Boy, talk about something that could come back to haunt you right there. To leave them loaded. They had the bases loaded and 1 out and could not score. Mark that down as a potential game changer right there. If the Angels lose this game, you might go back to look at this inning and see where they had missed opportunities. All right, bottom of the third we go. And it's going to be Craig Reynolds, shortstop, followed by Mike Scott. Then the top of the order in Billy Hatcher. McCaskill, 6-6 is a range play. We go to Craig Reynolds' card. 1-1 is a star 3. Ground ball to first. We're checking the range of Wally Joyner. Wally World. Check Wally World's range, and he is a 4. So 4, 1-4, he will make the play and flip to McCaskill covering. 5 through 6, it gets by him for a base hit. It's a 4, so he's able to get there and flip it to McCaskill covering. Out goes 3-1 for 1 away. And that brings up Mike Scott. He was a 126 hitter on the 86 season with 3 runs driven in. It's not an automatic out, but not very good either. McCaskill, 6'5", possible error on a throw. So he might reach on an error. You never know. 3-2 is a ground ball to first. So again, we're going back to Wally Joyner, checking his error rating. That is a 9. Joyner's error rating is only a 3. So again, Joyner will make the play, flip to McCaskill. Second consecutive 3-1 ground out. We're out number 2, and they're testing Wally World over there with his defense, but so far he is up to the task. Back to the top of the order, and Hatcher. Hatcher grounded to second his first trip. 3-6, strikeout chance 5, got him. So McCaskill, maybe buoyed by the strong defense of Wally Joyner, keeps the Astros off the board again. Is still tied at 1 at the end of 3 complete from the Dome. And maybe finally we get a good pitching duel worthy of the World Series, but we'll see. Doug DeCinces will lead things off for the Angels. Flew to center his first chance. Scott, 5-4, strikeout chance, 13 too high. Go to DeCinces. 6-4, and that's a fly to right field, put away out there by Kevin Bass. 1 down. Here's Gritch. He struck out his first chance. Scott, 6-2, strikeout plus, super strikeout, whatever you want to call it. So he is gone again. Gritch down on strikes once again. Here's Bob Boone. He also struck out. Scott has 3 strikeouts. He got Gritch twice and Boone once. 6-3 is a possible error on a throw. 5-6 is a ground ball right back to Scott. He's a 3. That's a 4. So no error. Scott will make the play and end the inning. Glenn Davis with a nice stretch to prevent the error. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Score still knotted at 1 apiece. McCaskill back out. And leading off for the Astros will be Bill Doran. Heart of the order coming up for the Astros. Doran, Walling, and Davis against McCaskill. 1-5. Strikeout chance 3. He got him. Doran out on strikes. 2 strikeouts in a row from McCaskill. Those were his only 2 of the game. Been the last 2 batters he's faced. Struck out Hatcher to end the 3rd. Struck out Doran to start the 4th. Walling, 6-6 is a range play. Let's see what happens with that. 3-5, that's a star 1. It's a range play. The second baseman, Gritch. Not very good. His range is only a 2. So this has to be a 1 or a 2, or it's going to get sneak through for a base hit. And Gritch is up to the task. So 2 down. Nice play by Bobby Gritch. Brings up Glenn Davis. Davis walked and scored the only Astro run his first time up. 3-5 is a range play at the ballpark, going to the Astrodome for the very first time, and it is a range play. 6-3 is a ground ball to first. We're checking the range of Wally World, and once again, Wally World's range is pretty good. It's a 4. It's above average. 1-4, and he takes care of it. It's another 3-1 put out by Wally Joyner. He's got 3 assists in this game as a first baseman. That's very unusual, but he does. And at the end of 4, we are tied a run apiece. Good defense on both sides of the house. Nice, clean, good pitching and good defense. So if you're a purist, this one's for you. At least the first 4 innings are anyway. Of course, you never know what can happen going forward. Top of the 5th, we go to Schofield. Schofield grounded to second his first trip. 6-4 is a strikeout plus, and he got him. So super strikeout, whatever you want to call it. He's out of there, and that brings up McCaskill. 1-5 is a strikeout chance to a righty. And again, with the pitcher card, it's a 32, so it's automatic strikeout. 2 down. Not sure why I had to go to 32. They could have probably put it at 22 or something and still been effective, but I guess they wanted to factor in ballpark factors and whatnot. All right, back to the top of the order, and Gary Pettis. Pettis has reached twice. He's singled and walked. 5-1, strikeout chance. Won't walk this time. He strikes out. So Mike Scott gets a little revenge there. Strikes out the side, actually, in the 5th. All 3 outs were strikeouts. Struck out the side. He is now up to 6 strikeouts through 5 innings. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 1. Somebody, who's going to flinch? That's the question. Who's going to flinch? Might be a long ball that decides this thing. Who knows? Here's Kevin Bass. He singled and was erased on a double play. 1-2 is a walk plus, so Kevin Bass gets things started with a walk. So he is aboard. Here's Jose Cruz. He's trying to avoid the double play he hit into the first time. Kevin Bass' attempt is a 3. Nothing going on. McCaskill, 2-2. Walk chance, 20, though, is too high. We go to Jose Cruz. 2-5. He's going to fly to right, 1 down. So Cruz is retired for Alan Ashby. Bass will again try to get the jump. And he does. It's a 3, so he does get the jump. He's a 13, but it's a -4 from McCaskill will drop him to a 9, and then a -2 from Boone makes it a 7. So he's gonna stay put. 4-1 is a hit by pitch, and that's not gonna happen. So we'll go to Ashby. 4-6, that's a single pass first. Now, can Bass make it to third? On an S3 to get from first to third, you need a 2 through 6. He's a 4, so he will take third base automatically. And Ashby is aboard. So runners are on the corners once again for Craig Reynolds this time. Reynolds has a good DP rating of 3, so you figure if it's hit to the infield other than first base, you at least got a 4. If it's hit to second, then Schofield's got a +1 pivot, make it a 5. So, or even if it's hit to Joyner, it would still be a 4 because of the pivot. So they're going to play back for the double play. They're going to play the percentages and try to get that double play. Nothing on the Havoc. McCaskill to Reynolds, 6-4, strikeout chance too high. So Reynolds will swing. 3-5, it's a ground ball to first. So there's your double play chance right there. It's going to be a 1-4 because of the 3 there. You don't get anything from first, but the pivot at short Schofield's a +1. So it's a 1-4 for a double play that ends the inning. And they don't get its runners advance. Wow. Well, even with the infield in, it wouldn't matter because runners on a 6 runners are going to advance anyway. So run scores. Kevin Bass scores on the ground out. RBI ground out. Joyner juggled a little bit, and by the time he recovered, his only play was a step on the bag. Run scores. Astros now lead it by the score of 2-1. As the first flinch in the fielding took place right there. And now Mike Scott is up with 2 down. And Ashby at second base. No 20, so no pickoff chances. 4-1 is a hit by pitch, but that's no hit by pitch. So we go to Mike Scott. 1-2, struck him out. Inning's over. But the Astros grab a 2-1 lead after 5. And see if they go turn that lead over to Mike Scott. See what he can do. He is on full rest since he didn't start game 1. They kept him for game 2, so he's at full strength. So he can get all 29 batters faced in there before he gets tired. Right now he's only faced 19, so he's in good shape as far as fatigue goes. We're only in the 6th inning, of course. Here's Wally World. He's grounded to second and walked. 5-5, strikeout plus, got him. So super strikeout once again. And that's 4 strikeouts in a row going back to last inning. He struck out the side. So Mike Scott in a groove with 4 Ks in a row. 7 on the game. Here's Downing. 2-1, another strikeout plus. Got him again. So 5 strikeouts in a row for Mike Scott. And that brings up Reggie with 2 outs and the base is clear. 5-6, ball 1 on a wild pitch with nobody on. Try again. 2-4. I guess a righty had been a strikeout plus, but that's why you got Reggie in there. If you had Hendrick in there, he'd be striking out big time on these lefty-righty splits. So that's why Reggie's in there. 5-1, question mark 8 against the right-hander goes to 14. That is a 14. It's a triple for Reggie Jackson. Wow, you don't think of Reggie in his old age getting a triple, but he just did. And he is rated for it, obviously, because he got that 12-14 rating, and he found it. So a 2-out triple. And that's going to bring up the Sensei. Didn't take Ashby off the bases like I should have in the previous inning. Sorry about that. He left him sitting at second base for some reason. Forgot to move him. Take care of that. All right, so now Reggie. Strategy roll, nothing happening. So here's Scott to the Sensei. 3-4, that is a strikeout chance. 13 is too high, so the Sensei will get the swing. 2-6, he's going to fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So the triple goes for naught as Reggie got that triple with 2 outs, and the Sensei couldn't bring him home. So another left on base for the Angels again. These LOBs might be coming back to bite them. Left the bases loaded in second, and left a runner at third here in the 6th. So got to keep an eye on that. McCaskill can face 30 batters. So far he has only faced 23, so he's still good to go. And he is set to bat 4th next inning, so this is probably going to be his last inning of work anyway. We'll see. McCaskill to Hatcher, 3-4. That is a strikeout chance. 16 is too high. We go to Billy Hatcher. 4-6 for Hatcher. He's going to fly to left. And that's how the 6th inning begins, with the fly out to left field. 1 down, and that's going to bring up Bill Doran. Flew right in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. 1-4 is a potential walk. Switch your batting left, potential walk, that's a 10. He walks at a 16, so definitely a walk for Bill Doran. So he is aboard. He's got an attempt of 6, -1 for McCaskill, makes it a 5. It's a 10, nothing happening. So Denny Walling is up, infield double play depth. McCaskill, 2-6 is a blank, we go to Walling. 6-2. And against a right-hander, that's a double to center field. On a double to center field, you gain 1 on your run rating to score from first. So he becomes a 5. Gary Pettis' arm is a +1. So that makes him a 6, which means he scores without a throw. So Bill Doran comes in to score on the RBI double by Denny Walling. And the Astros lead it now 3-1. And the Angel bullpen is working in earnest as Gary Lucas, a lefty, is loosening down in the pen. Right now, Glenn Davis is on. 1 out runner at second. Checking for pickoffs, nothing happening. McCaskill to Davis. Got to be careful with Davis. 3-6, strikeout chance too high. So Glenn Davis gets to swing. 5-3, and he's going to fly to right field. That's out number 2. Now, can Wally move up? He is a 2. To get from second to third on a fly to right, you lose 1, makes him down to a 1. And Reggie Jackson has a -1 arm, so it's a 0. So Walling cannot even think about it. He's going to have to stay put. 2 down for Kevin Bass. Strategy rolled again for the pickoff. Nothing happening. So here's McCaskill to Bass. 5-2 is a walk chance. 7 will not walk him. He's a 7, but the -1 makes him a 6, so there's no walk there. So Bass will have to earn it. 3-6, and he does not. Star 6, he flies to right to end the inning as Reggie puts it away. So the run comes in on the RBI double off the bat of Denny Walling, and the Astros now lead it 3-1 after 6 complete from the Dome. And I think McCaskill's day is pretty much done. Even if they don't get to his pitch, to his spot in the order, they got a lefty coming up, Jose Cruz, so they would have Gary Lucas pitch to him. But in the meantime, Mike Scott is back out to pitch the top of the 7th. It'll be Grich, Boone, and Schofield. If anybody gets on, a pinch hitter, which would probably be Rupert Jones, my guess. Right now it is Bobby Grich. Grich is 0 for 2. He struck out twice. 5-3. 5-3 on Scott is a walk chance. 16 is not going to get it. So Grich will get to swing. 3-3. And he will double to left Walling on second base again. Well, Grich is going to replace him because he just doubled to left field. How about that? So Bobby Grich with a leadoff double, trying to get something going for the Angels, brings the tying run to the plate in Bob Boone. Could think about pinch hitting for Boone here, but you love his defense, so I think you're going to leave him in there a little bit longer. For his 9th inning, he might do it, but not in the 7th. 3, nothing happening on the... Because he'd be a 5 attempt, you cut it in half, it's 2.5, you lower it by 1, make it a 2, so no chance for Grich to steal. Here's Scott. Not that he would anyway, down 3-1. 4-5 is a strikeout chance. That's a 3. He got him. So Boone out on strikes. Out number 1, here's Schofield. And Rupert Jones has in fact picked up a bat. Nothing on the strategy roll. Here's Scott. 3-4, that is a strikeout chance. 18 is too high. We go to Schofield. 1-3, question mark 7 against the righty, goes to 9. That's a 1. It's a single to left field. So we'll see if Grich can score on a single to left. Cruz has a +1 arm, and he runs at a 2. That makes it a 3. And then to score on a single to left, you add 1, makes him a 4. So 1-4, and Bobby Grich will come in. And he does. So Bobby Grich will score it. RBI single from Schofield, and all of a sudden it's a 3-2 game. And Mike Scott, who's now faced 26 batters. Here comes batter number 27. And it's going to be the pinch hitter, Rupert Jones. You're thinking maybe George Hendrick, but Hendrick, you don't want to bring in a righty against Mike Scott too often because the odds are not in your favor if you do that. Actually, it's not going to be Rupert Jones. It's going to be Jack Howell. He's got the better average. So it's actually going to be Jack Howell. Jack Howell will come on in a big spot to pinch hit. And now bullpen activity for the Astros as they have Larry Anderson and they also have Calhoun, the lefty, both loosening in the pen. But right now it is Scott facing Jack Howell. That's a 3, so a steal attempt is in order for Schofield. He's a 16, plus 1 there is a 17, plus 1 from Ashby's an 18. And he's in there, stolen base for Schofield. And now, all of a sudden, Angels are in business. With 1 out, tying run is at second base. Strategy roll, nothing happening there. Scott to the pinch hitter, Jack Howell. 3-6, strikeout chance, got him. So it didn't matter who they had in there. He was going to strike out. So Howell out on strikes for out number 2. And that brings up Gary Pettis. Tying runs 180 feet away at second base. Here's Schofield, or Scott on the strategy roll. Nothing happening. Scott to Pettis. 1-3. Would be a strikeout plus to a righty, which is why you don't bring righties in. He is a switch hitter batting left, so it's just a blank. So Pettis with a chance. 1-1, star 2, though, is going to fly to center. Put away by Hatcher, and the inning is over. But the Angels at least crawl back a little bit closer and get that run. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the score. Now standing at Houston 3 and California 2. Mike Scott can face 29 batters. He has faced 28. So he may be done. We'll have to wait and see. Plus, he's coming up possibly in the order here. So that might be it for Mike Scott. We shall see. Not definitive, but it's possible. And coming in to pitch for the Angels will be lefty Gary Lucas. He will be the new pitcher for the California Angels, as Jose Cruz is your leadoff man for Houston. In a 3-2 ball game going to the bottom of the 7th. And, of course, the bottom of the 7th means 7th inning stretch. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. And we are ready to go for the bottom of the 7th. Gary Lucas, the lefty, on to face Jose Cruz, the lefty. McCaskill is going to go 6 innings. Going to give up 3 runs, all earned. And he is going to be saddled with a loss unless the Angels can tie the game or take the lead. So Lucas trying to keep things where they are against Jose Cruz. 1-6. He's not tired, so there's no single there. We go to Cruz. 6-3. He's going to ground to second, and Rich will make the play. 1 down, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Alan Ashby. Switch hitter. We'll now turn around, bat right-handed. 2-1. Ballpark card going to the Astrodome. 4-2, and that is a fly to right field. Ashby is out of there, 2 down. And that'll bring up Craig Reynolds, but Reynolds will be called back. And they will bring on Dickie Thon. Again, 2 purposes there. One is the bringing in a righty to face the lefty, plus Thon is a better defender as a 4, whereas Craig Reynolds is only a 3. So a little bit better range. So we're going to have Dickie Thon take over at short. And Jim Pankovets has picked up a bat and is on deck for Mike Scott, in case it gets to that. But right now it is Dickie Thon pinch hitting, and we'll take over at shortstop. Lucas to Thon, 4-4. That's a potential walk. 17 is too high. Go to Thon, 6-5. He's going to ground to third, and that's going to end the inning. So now the interesting decision here, Mike Scott is scheduled to lead off the bottom of the 8th. So he can still pitch. He's not tired yet officially until after this next batter. But he does have lefty Wally Joyner coming up. So also has Reggie Jackson. So 2 out of the 3 coming up are left-handed. So what do you do here? I think, boy, it's a tough call. They do have Calhoun, the lefty, in the pen. You know what? They're going to go to Calhoun. He did such a good... he closed the game out for him in game 1, so they're going to trust that he can get the lefties out again. So Jeff Calhoun will take over from Mike Scott. Mike Scott's going to go 7 innings, give up 2 runs. They were earned. But Calhoun is on, and Larry Anderson's still loosing in the pen as well behind him. But they want to get the lefties out there to face Joyner and Jackson. 2 out of the next 3 are left-handed. That does potentially bring George Hendrick into the equation, so they could pinch hit for Reggie. But we'll have to see how that plays out, see what Gene Mauch decides to do here in the top of the 8th as the wheels are turning here at the Dome. It's 3-2. Good tight ball game. Calhoun, 2-1, strikeout chance. That is a 9. And he does not strike out against the lefty at a 9. So only strikes out as an 8. So Joyner fouls off some tough pitches, stays with the at-bat, and gets to swing. 1-5, he's going to hit it hard, but right to the second baseman, Doran. 1 down, L4. So hit it hard, but to the wrong player. And now here comes Downing against Calhoun. 2-2, strikeout chance. He got him. So Calhoun even gets the righty out. And now that's going to bring up Reggie Jackson. Now, what do you do with your Reggie? He's got no home runs against lefties, although his average, he does have some doubles against lefties, but he's a much better hitter against righties. And you do have George Hendrick. And Hendrick is also a better defender. So despite Reggie's protest, George Hendrick will come in and bat for Reggie. And he will take over in right field as well. Again, Reggie Jackson not happy about it, but this point in his career, can't really argue it too much, I don't think. They're playing their percentages. So George Hendrick, now the Astros could counter with Larry Anderson right now if they would choose, but Calhoun's pitching so well, why take him out? 3-5, he's not tired, so there's no single there. So we do go to Hendrick's card. 3-1, fly to left, so it doesn't matter. Calhoun pitches a solid top of the 8th and sets things up again for Dave Smith, although Smith did struggle in game 1, so you wonder where that stands. But Calhoun's a 1-inning pitcher, so he's not coming back after that. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 3-2 in favor of the Angels. Lucas, when his 1 inning, did his job. And now we got a pinch hitter coming up for Calhoun because it was, the pitcher was scheduled to lead off. So now the question is, what do you do if you're the Angels? If you're bringing a lefty, you got Pankovich to pinch hit or Garner. If you're bringing a righty, you're going to have Terry Poole to pinch hit. It just depends on who you want to bring in. But you do have Hatcher at the top of the order, so I think you got to have to play it to your strength. And Donnie Moore did not pitch in game 1, so they want to make sure he at least gets some work. So Donnie Moore will be coming on to pitch for the Angels here in the bottom of the 8th. Normally comes in a save situation, but looks like there's not going to be a save situation, so he will come on. And Terry Poole will do the pinch hitting for Mike Scott. So those 2 moves are being made by each manager. So Donnie Moore is on to pitch to the pinch hitter, Terry Poole, bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Stros, clinging to that lead, and they also lead 1-0 in the series. Moore, 5-4, and against a righty, that would have been a home run chance, but against a lefty, it's an automatic out. How about that? Boy, if they'd used a righty pinch hitter, but again, you don't really play the percentages that way. The out's going to be a fly to left, so Poole is out of there. And I think the D20 was a high number, so I don't think it would have been a home run anyway, but still makes you wonder about that. All right, here's Billy Hatcher, top of the order. And Dave Smith will be coming in to pitch the 9th for sure for the Astros rather. Moore to Hatcher, 2-5, struck him out with that 1 on the D20. That was an automatic strikeout. 2 down for Bill Doran. So Donnie Moore doing his job, giving his team a chance. That's all you can hope for. 1-1 is a blank. Go to Doran. 3-6, star 6 is going to be a fly to center, put away by Pettis, and the inning is over. So we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Angels. Will we see 9th inning magic against Dave Smith? Now, they got to Dave Smith in game 1, so they do have a little bit of confidence that they can, in fact, get to Dave Smith. But the Astros are gonna play the best they have. 33 saves. He had 33 saves for a reason. So he's in there, Dave Smith, and he'll be facing DeCinces, Grich, and Boone. Although there are lefties on the bench, most notably Rupert Jones, who might pinch hit for Bob Boone. So we'll see. First of all, you're not going to pinch hit for DeCinces, so he's going to lead things off. He is 0 for 3, but it could mean he's due. 3-5, and that is going to be the ballpark card. So we're going to the Astrodome for DeCinces at bat. It's a 1-4. It's a question mark 8. That's a 1, so that's a base hit. DeCinces will single to center field to start the inning. Leadoff single for DeCinces. Now, he doesn't run well. Let's look at the bench for the Angels and see if they can get a better runner out there. Better runner, and that they, of course, will in Devon White. So Devon White will take over as a pinch runner, as he is a 4 versus the 2, plus he can steal some bases. So Devon White is going to pinch run for DeCinces. And if it goes to the bottom of the ninth, they'll have somebody else play third base, probably Wilfong or Burleson, one of the two. So pinch hitting or pinch running time. And now here's Bobby Grich. He's actually a very good bunter if they wanted to go that route, but they want to see if Devon White can maybe steal a base. He's an 8, -1 is a 7 to get a jump. He does not get the jump, so he cannot steal, but we can overrule the bunt call or lack of a bunt call on the D20 by doing a manual bunt when the situation calls for it. And to me, it calls for it. So we're going to have a bunt situation. First things first, though. Smith will pitch to Grich to see if there's a potential strikeout. 2-1, double question mark, will not be a strikeout and will not be an automatic hit. So now we will go to Grich. He's a 5. The infielder's in at the corners makes him a 4. So on a 4 bunt chart, 4 bunt rating, a good bunt is going to be 1 to 14. Anything higher than 14 could be a little dicey. And we roll 1 die to see who fields it. That is a 5. It's a good bunt. It's a 6. It means the catcher. So in this case, Ashby fields it. His only play is to throw to first base where Doran is covering. It's going to go 2 to 4 on the sacrifice hit. But the speedy Devon White now is in scoring position with 1 out. And Bob Boone is being called back. And we will get a pinch hitter for Bob Boone. And it will be Rupert Jones. So Rupert Jones will pinch hit for Bob Boone, and then Nairn would go in to catch if it got to that. Now, Burleson has a higher average, but he's right-handed, and in Game 1, when we pinch hit with Burleson, we got a right strikeout plus on a righty, and we don't want to get that again, so we're going with the percentages this time and doing Rupert Jones. Strategy roll. It's 19, nothing happening. Smith now to Jones. 1-5, strikeout plus, didn't matter what side of the plate he was on, he struck out. So no fault to Rupert Jones, that was just a good pitch by Dave Smith. 2 down, and now here comes Schofield. And they are going to pinch hit for Schofield, even though he did have the RBI single to bring in a run last time, but they're going with a better average, and that is Rick Burleson. So Burleson is on. He's a 284 hitter versus Schofield being a 249. So Burleson is on, and he would take over at short if it gets to that. So Burleson pinch hitting here in the 9th in a huge spot, 2 outs. Tying run is at second base. Angels looking to avoid getting swept in the first 2 games of this series. Astros looking to put it away. This is Dave Smith's 4th batter, so after this batter, if he doesn't get Burleson out, he will then become tired. But if he can get Burleson, then all is not worried about being tired. Strategy roll 14, nothing happening. Here is Smith to Burleson. 3-2, and as a range play, they are normal depth because of the 2 outs, so it's a full range play for Burleson. 6-6 is a fly to center, so it's all up to Billy Hatcher in center field. If he doesn't catch this, we got a tie game. Billy Hatcher is a 3. A 1-3, and the game's over. 4 through 6, and we got a tie game. It's a 2. The ball game is over. Billy Hatcher tracks it down and takes the hit away from Rick Burleson to end the ball game. What a play by Billy Hatcher. He does it again. He just keeps coming up either offense or defense with the plays they needed. And they got it done. Astros win it by the score of 3-2. And they take a commanding 2-0 lead in the World Series. Right back with the totals. All right, to recap, game number 2. 3-2 victory for the Astros. They now take a 2-0 lead in the series. Interesting line score for Houston. 3 runs on just 3 hits. No errors and 2 left. For the Angels, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left. The Angels scored in 3 different innings, and they had a hit in each inning, but each time the hit was preceded by a walk. So the 3 walks in this inning, contributed a lot to that. Play of the game, Mike Scott. Well, actually, maybe co-player of the game. Mike Scott went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, but you could also give it to Kevin Bass for the Astros. Bass was 2 for 3. He singled in the second, and then he walked and scored in the 5th. So he was 1 for 2. So I guess you give him a little bit of love for that. Mike Scott, though, mainly with the pitching performance, took care of that for the Astros. For the Angels, not a whole lot going on offensively for any of their players. So not much to say with them. But they're looking to come back in Game 3 with their ace, Mike Witt. He'll be on the mound against Nolan Ryan as Nolan Ryan makes a return trip to California. The former California Angel pitcher comes back to California. It's a homecoming for Nolan Ryan. I'm sure he's going to be pumped up for that in Game 3. Astros now lead the series 2-0. Next 3 are out in sunny California in the outdoors on grass. So we'll see if that helps out the Angels at all. As the Astros now leave the confines of the Astrodome and head out west. It'll be Nolan Ryan against Mike Witt in game number 3. Game 4 will be Bob Nepper taking on John Candelaria. Battle of lefties there. And then game 5, if it's necessary, we'll be back to the game 1 starters, Don Sutton against Jim DeShays. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Inside Pitch, 1986 World Series replay style. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.